私にはとても信じられない。頭のおかしい学者どものたわごとにしか。
Totally. He's about to push me further when... Oh, thank God. We heard the sound of an incoming call on a cell phone. Shimiyama grunted and took his phone out of his pocket.
下山だ。ああ、今防衛局へ。何？どういうことだ、それは。
The mission's failed. Drop us off somewhere.
これだからバカどもは。あいつらどこの国の政治家だ。
Shimiyama's finger slammed down on the end call button so hard I thought the phone would break. There was a lot of rage on his face.
行き先変更だ。嘉手納基地へ向かえ。第2ゲートだ。
American Air Force Base in Japan. It has twice the area of Tokyo International Airport. His words are filled with irritation as he spoke to the driver. Changing directions. Who is he talking to? As I sat there confused, Shimoyama started to call someone else.
下山だ。行き先を変更する。嘉手納基地の第2ゲート前で落ち合う。
Probably the van behind you. That was all he said before he hung up.
どういうことですか？
状況が変わった。これから岡部君は米軍基地に行ってもらう。
Yay!
そのまま米軍機でアメリカ行き、なんていう楽しい旅行が待っているかもしれんな。
I mean, I'd like that. But I'm not a war prisoner, it seems. America.
せめてファーストクラスを準備するよう要求しておくが、期待はしないでほしい。あいつらは我々の言うことなど、飼い犬の吠え声としか思ってない。
なんでアメリカに？
Why not?
CIA か NSC か知らんが、君の即時引き渡しを求めているそうだ。
America National Security Council, an organization that works directly for the White House and advises the president on national security measures. It consists of the president, vice president, secretary of state, the secretary of treasury, and the secretary of defense.
だからなぜ？
そんなことはあいつらに直接聞け。
And then he turned back towards the front and fell silent, refusing to answer any of my questions. The car went down to the road for a while until we got to the exit that read South Okinawa. I'm going to America. Yeah, that's a U.S. Air Force base. Hey dudes, how's it going? Several U.S. soldiers had evidently been waiting for my arrival, and I didn't actually read that. Stopped in front of the gate. God, I love the
君
Air
をアメリ
Force.
カに渡したら、もう我々のところには正しい情報なんて一つも降りてこなくなるだろう。だから、これが最後の機会だ。
Shimoyama turned around the front passenger seat and looked straight at me. His eyes were desperate and begging.
教えてくれ。我々はこの先、どうすればいいんだ。頼む。
I remembered all the soldiers in Tokyo who'd fought so desperately to protect me. Were they fighting to help someone else in Tokyo right now, or were they already?
俺には
岡部君。
本当にわからないんです。俺一人の力でこの戦争をどうにかできると思いますか？ゴリバチョフやレリツィンがロシアの大統領になるとか、東西冷戦を劇的に終結させるとか、そんな歴史を知っていたところでどうにも。
I could hear the sound of another car getting closer. Shimoyama sighed and opened the passenger
降
side
りた
door.
まえ。
Bye. I exited the car as I was told. Mayuri got out of the van behind us and ran over to me.
マユリ！
Oh, wait, I didn't know I changed clothes. My childhood friend flung herself into my arms as I held her tight. I could feel her warmth. Mayuri was here. I'd never gone almost a whole month without seeing her before. And this was wartime. I couldn't easily contact her like I could in the old world line. So I'd been worried about whether or not Mayuri was okay. It was no exaggeration to say that I'd survived this far just to make sure. I had erased the entire Alpha world line to save her. No matter what happened, I wanted her to be safe. You're fine.
悪い。
It's better than a bullet. I'd held her too closely. I took a step back.
マユシーね、信じてたよ。オカリンと絶対また会えるって信じてた。
あ、
よかった。無事だったかにゃ。岡部さん。
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting Ferris to be looking like that. That's weird. I heard two more voices I recognized. Ferris and Luca behind them and behind them I saw Kaide.
みんなもよく無事で。
Ferris doesn't look too bad in that, actually. Can I give her a hug?
岡部さん。
Luca, you kind of look the same.
ルカ子。
I felt myself getting choked up too when I saw Lukaku cry. I exchanged greetings with Kaide too. Fubuki had grabbed onto her like a little kid, and she was still pale and trembling.
フェリス。さすがにメイド服じゃないんだな。
I missed it already.
フェイリスって呼ばれたのも久しぶりにゃ。
Ferris spoke sadly, then she put her hand around my neck and held me close. Her pink lips got close to my ear. It was as if she was about to kiss me.
おい。
What was going on?
照れることないにゃ。
She laughed mischievously. Then Ferris, no, Akiha, Rumiho, whispered into my ear while pretending to kiss me.
気をつけて。防衛省の人も米軍の人も信用してはダメ。
Sure, anything you say.
大人は嘘だらけ。みんな本当のことを言わないわ。
Yeah, fuck the adults, man. That's right, Ferris had a special talent. Cheshire Break. Damn right, it's fucking special powers. Fictional Grinning Cat and Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. She was incredibly good at looking into someone's heart and seeing what they were thinking.
あ、思い知ったよ。
And one of them just tricked me. Ferris looked surprised and took a step back.
悲しいにゃ。
そうだな。
Can I hang out with her some more? And then I heard the sound of another engine. This time it was coming from beyond the gate and inside the base. It belongs to a black luxury car with an E on the license plate. Behind it was a minibus. The two of them stopped in front of the gate. It was time for my reunion to end.
Welcome!
Fucking Christ. An American soldier as tall as a basketball player got out of the car.
ようこそ皆さん。
It's like 7 feet tall then?
歓迎します。
Or like 6'7". His Japanese was good, but not great.
では、ミスター岡部以外の皆さんはバスに乗ってください。
He was smiling, but I could tell he wasn't going to allow any arguments. And the other American soldiers were still carrying their rifles as they stood guard without smiles. Shimoyama and the other Japanese were watching us from a distance. They didn't try to stop us. They were just looking downwards.
オカリン以外ってどういうこと？
怖がらなくていいです。皆さんには少し話を聞かせてもらいます。でも後ですぐに沖縄防衛局へ送ります。
Can I take Ferris with me? That's my concession. Oh, also Yugi.
オカリン。
大丈夫だ。安心しろ。
でも。
ユキさん、参りを頼みます。
はい。
Yuki nodded and put her arms around Mayuri's shoulder as she led her to the bus. Everyone else followed.
オカリン。
俺の両親によろしく言っておいてくれ。
That's brutal. Once everyone but me was on the minibus, the minibus left immediately. They're fucking dead, aren't they? The area in front of the gate fell silent. It was hard to believe that this existed in the same world as all the places I've crossed on my escape through Japan's mainland.
さて、それではミスター岡部、あなたはどうぞこちらの車へ。
He told me to get in the back seat of the luxury van and car. Too many minibuses. And what would happen to me once I got inside? Probably nothing. When you're in the car, they'll just tell you, like, hey, so what you know, buddy? I tried to think about it, but realized there was nothing I could do. I was just about to get into the car when...
Okabe-kun, 逃げろ! アメリカへ行ったらもう生きて戻れ!
Oh, what? Shimiyama's scream was cut off by the sound of gunfire. In the corner of an eye, I saw the American soldiers firing without hesitation. Jesus fucking Christ. No way. I tried to turn around when... I'm getting inside. I don't want to be shot. A large hand blocked my vision as Hammond held me down. I couldn't hear Shimiyama's voice anymore. Through the gaps between his fingers, I could see nothing was moving. And I knew exactly what that meant. I was shoved in the car before I had time to think about it. I tried to open my mouth, but Hammond looked into my eyes and shook his head. I wasn't supposed to talk then. Sounds good. Nope, nothing. Hammond sat next to me, then closed the door, then the car started to move. Soon we turned down a main road, then turned down a different road than the one the minibus was taking. America, huh? I'd never been there before. What were they going to do to me there? Use me as a guinea pig? Cut open my head and dissect my brain? I probably wasn't going to be able to do any tourist things. You're in fucking war, of course not. I felt like screaming, but tried my best to stay calm. Hammond suddenly spoke, and then he handed me something. I took it before I even looked at what it was, and when I checked, it was a normal smartphone. Kurisu? Confused, I pressed the button as I was told, and then something appeared on the screen. Yep.
Kurisu!
It was Amadeus Maki say Kurisu. I was about to ask Hammond when. For the first time in about a month, that feeling came back. Oh, fuck. Are we back? The whole world and all its colors began to shift. There was a freezing feeling of instability, like my brain was unable to recognize where it was, and then dizziness and a sense of falling like you get when you're anemic. I could hear the blood vessels deep within my ears, and they sounded really loud. The sense of floating finally stopped, and my surroundings coalesced into firm shapes. Holy shit. Mayuri was in front of me. I was in the lab in the room I knew well. There was no trace of Okinawa anywhere. I realized that I was staring at Mayuri. I looked around the room. Doro was sitting in front of his PC like always, hunched over with his back towards me. Suzanne was reading a magazine on the couch. On the open page, I could read this new title, New Encephalitis Strikes Worldwide. Are you in danger? At the same couch, same cheap fridge, Dara's computer desk, the dirty curtain that cut off the development room from the rest of the lab. The wall clock, which I'd picked up out of the garbage dump, told me it was past 6. I looked at the calendar, and 2010 was already gone. It was January 2011. The world line had changed again. I was back to the old world line.
No. Mayuri. ここって秋葉原だよな。違うのか。
秋葉原だよ。
今日って何日だっけ
21日。
ゴリバチョフ
Jesus.
知ってるか
Who's a Gorbachev?
ゴリバチョフ？どこかで聞いたことがあるような。
ペレストロイカっしょ。恐ろしや。 あ、でもゴリビーってソ連時代だっけ？やっぱロシアといえばプーチン氏。目の前で睨まれたらしょんべんちびる自信あるね。
Gee, calm down. Calm down. Okay, I say that. I don't know. I don't know what I'd do in front of Putin. I don't know. Who knows?
プーシーさんなら知ってるよ。ロシアの大統領さんだよね。実はワンコが好きなんだよ。秋田犬を飼ってるんだって。ニュースでやってた。
Of course he likes dogs. He also likes riding bears.
大統領。そうだ。大統領だ。
Mayuri, Daru, and Suzawa looked over at me suspiciously. It felt like a long time since anyone had looked at me that way. I was back. I no longer had to worry that I might be killed at any second. I felt incredibly relieved, but at the same time I wondered. Why had the world line changed again? I needed to calm down and think for a bit. I went up to the roof and booted up the web browser on my smartphone. Unlike during wartime, it connected immediately. I was amazed at the speed. Just getting an internet connection in the last world line had been difficult enough. I started by searching up Gorbachev, and the results came back instantly. Perestroika. Sure. Oh god, that sounds awful. The Soviet Union's first and last president. The August coup d'etat and the collapse of the Soviet Union. All the keywords I hoped to see were there. As soon as I confirmed that the Soviet Union was dismantled at the end of the 20th century and no longer existed, I closed the browser. Then why had the world line shifted again? I hadn't done anything. I didn't have any way of affect the divergence value. So what had changed it? Had whoever had performed the first experiment in Russia undone it? Had they watched its progress for a month and then been satisfied? What were they doing by keep doing it? And if they did, would I be caught up in it each time? It was a mistake to come outside without a coat on. Nothing I could come up with by myself would be anything more than a guess. I went back to the lab. The wreaths we'd put up at the entrance at the Christmas party were still up.
Christmas party.
It'd only been a month, hadn't it? It felt like a million years ago. I had no memories of what I'd done in this world line after the Christmas party.
ああ、そういえば飾り付け放置したまんまだっけ？いい加減パーティーの時にオカリンと吹雪氏が倒れたっしょ？それでバタバタしちゃってちゃんと片付けできてないんだよね。
God damn it.
俺と中瀬さんが
Such a lightweight. Was that when the world line changed? Everyone remembered that I'd collapsed at the Christmas party, which means I'd come back to the same world line as the one I had been in before. If it was Russia's doing, it was terrifying to think that they could control the world line to that degree. And there was one more thing. It worried me that Fubuki had collapsed too. I stood there lost in thought. Daru and Mayuri looked a little concerned.
オカリン？
そういえば中瀬さんの具合はどうなのかなって思ってな。
I quickly came up with an excuse.
吹雪ちゃん、まだ入院してるんだ。
入院？もう1ヶ月近く経ってるのにか？
本人は大丈夫だって言ってるんだけど、ちっとも退院させてもらえないんだって。
I've heard that lately, unless you were really sick, they wouldn't let you stay in the hospital for very long. Was Fubuki sick with something?
これの疑いが晴れないらしいね。
Suzawa whispered as she held up the page of the magazine she was reading. New encephalitis strikes worldwide. Are you in danger?
新型脳炎。
I borrowed the magazine. Sudden bouts of amnesia, disordered sense of time. Forgetting the people around you, the inability to tell the difference between reality and daydreams. They were talking about last November. I'd seen a glimpse of it on the news. Outside of Japan, they'd seen almost 100 people, albeit with mild symptoms in Japan. There were 10 people that being kept at hospitals for examinations, or so it said. So it had made its way to Japan. And one of those 10 was Fubuki then. Was it transmittable by air? We didn't catch it at the Christmas party, did we? God, this would be some fuck shit if ends up being like any reading Steiner, it's all in his head and he's just having this weird fucking fever dream. I knew that getting nervous wouldn't help anything, but still I wondered. That would be a fucking twist. You need to go to the hospital. I'm not sick.
あの時のオカリ、吹雪ちゃんよりもっと具合悪そうだったよ。
ああ、考えておくよ。
If I get the choice, I'm not going to the hospital. I gave a half-hearted answer to Mayuri and turned back to the magazine. Strange symptoms being found all over the world, cause unknown, sudden memory loss. Memories differ from those of people around you, losing all sense of passage of time, losing the ability to tell the difference between dreams and reality, and sometimes having waking dreams. The article was filled with things like that. This was like...
まるでリーディングシュタイナーみたいじゃないか。
And it matched exactly with what Shimoyama had told me in the world line. This isn't good.
随分とリアルな夢を見たりするとか、ひどい時には白チュームというのかな。現実と夢の区別がつかなくなることもあると聞いた。中瀬君と非常によく似た白チュームを見る人たちがいる。しかも一人や二人じゃない。
I'd wondered back then if Fubuki possessed reading Steiner too. Maybe the reason she collapsed at the Christmas party wasn't some new disease, but the unexpected activation of reading Steiner. That would mean her diagnosis was wrong. The unnecessary tests and treatments they gave her wouldn't help a bit. It looked like I needed to talk to Fubuki. I ended up going over that day. She was at a large general hospital with a medical student department located in Ochanomizu. Fuck me. It was close enough to Akihabara I could walk, and getting there was easy. Since she might get the wrong idea if I went alone, I encouraged Mayuri to come with me. I hoped it would look like I was only coming as an afterthought. But it ended up being a bigger deal than I expected. When they heard that Mayuri was going, Kaide and Yuki decided to come too. Evidently, they'd all been to visit Fubuki several times before, and they knew exactly where she was located. They walked down the halls without hesitation. It was almost 8 when visiting hours ended, so we needed to hurry. But as we passed by a nursing station, there was a minor commotion. A woman in her late 40s wearing a gray jersey was yelling at the doctors and nurses. Crazy girl.
ですから必要な検査と治療を行った後にですね。
治療なんて何にもしてないじゃない。しかもちょっとした検査のはずがなんで1ヶ月も出られないの。仕事はどうしてくれるの？
落ち着いてください。この病気は未知の部分が多く、十分な検査を行って慎重に治療をしませんと危険なのです。
嘘。テレビじゃそんなに大変な病気じゃないから安心しろみたいに言ってたわよ。
Well, if the TV said it, it must be fine.
ですから、それは適切な検査と治療を行うことが前提です。先ほども突然のめまいを起こしたと看護師。
あれは夕飯が遅いからお腹が空いて貧血になっただけよ。私は元気なの。さっさと退院させて。
The woman was about ready to grab the doctor by the throat. Several female nurses held her back and dragged her off somewhere with reassuring words.
びっくりしたわ。
Yeah.
吹雪ちゃんは大丈夫かな？
I hope. The girls hurried even faster down the hallway. Fubuki was in a 4-person room at the very end of the hallway. She hesitantly peeked inside. We did.
この声。
That doesn't sound good. We could hear moaning coming from behind the curtains surrounding Fubuki's bed. Mayuri went pale and hurriedly ripped them open. Fubuki made a strange noise and spun around as we came in. I looked closer and saw that she was sitting on the bed with her legs crossed, watching a show on the LCD TV attached to it. Her eyes were red and swollen with tears, but given the fact that she had a stick of Pocky in her mouth, she was probably just crying over a soap opera. Thanks. In here, I thought this hospital was like harvesting memories and implanting memories. Thanks. You did great. Fubuki wiped away her tears and welcomed us with her usual smile. She was. Jesus. Even as she apologized, she tossed another chocolate-coated stick into her mouth. Her hair was tied up and she was wearing some kind of headgear. At first I thought it was just that she was too lazy to do her hair, but evidently not. There were cords coming out from the headgear that were attached to a belt around her waist. Were they monitoring her brainwaves? And unobtrusive as possible, whatever. I took a look at the other patients around the room and they were all wearing the same headgear. They may have been giving it to all the encephalitis patients.
ごめんね。みんなで押しかけちゃって。とんでもない。大歓迎だよ。それに、オカリンさんまで来てくれるとは思わなかった。
Fubuki stared at me intently. She'd never done that before, so I started to wonder if there was something on my
俺と同
face.
じように倒れたって言うから気になってたんだ。
全然平気。なんで退院できないのか本当わかんないよ。毎日検査するだけで他には何にもやることないし、退屈で。しかもさ、病室って携帯禁止なんだよね。メールしたくてもロビーまで行かないとダメだし、夜9時になると勝手に消灯されちゃうから深夜アニメも見られないし、もう信じられない。
Her bed was surrounded with portable game consoles, magazines, a miniature DVD player, and anything to stave off boredom. Yeah, nothing to do. And given all the half-empty boxes of snacks, it was hard to believe the disease was as serious as they said on the news. They have to be doing something.
オカリンさんは大丈夫なの？
ああ、マユリにも言ったが、この通りなんともない。
そっか。よかった。
She seemed truly relieved, but she was still staring at me. And suddenly Kaede started to fidget. Not only that, she blushed, then glanced at me and almost started crying. She was acting really weird.
楓ちゃん？どうかした？
Kaede started to fidget even more when she realized that everyone was looking at her, but she had no choice but to go over and whisper something in Fubuki's ear.
はあ？ふぶきちゃん、
The other girls tried to quiet Fubuki down. This was a hospital and there were other patients in the room. She couldn't make a fuss. Or we
だっ
couldn't.
て皆さん、ちょっと聞いてくださいよ。ここにいらっしゃる来島楓さんってば、私とオカリンさんがみんなに隠れて、
No.
こっそり。
Now it was our turn to keep from shouting in surprise.
何を言い出すんだ。
だってまゆりちゃんの話だと、今日ふぶきちゃんのお見舞いに行こうと言い出したのって。
That's because I want her
オカリンさんなんで
information.
すよね。
それはまあそうだが。
Fucking Christ.